Hello, I am Colin Nagy, and welcome to my Media Studies electronic evaluation. My film is called Captive, and I am the director, and I also star in the film as the main character, Jonathan Phelps. This is my first electronic evaluation for Media Studies, so I'm really just going to dive straight in with the questions and just get this over and done with. Okay, the first question is, in what ways does your film use, develop, or challenge the forms and conventions of existing films such as the ones you were influenced by? The films that me and my other group member were influenced by were Firewall, starring Harrison Ford and Paul Bettany, Taking of Pelham 123 with Denzel Washington and John Travolta, and also Taken with Liam Neeson. As you can probably tell, we were influenced by the hostage genre because we felt there have been a few successful hostage films in the past, like Taken and its sequel, Air Force One, Phone Booth, and then the Die Hard franchise has a lot of hostage situations in them. And I find that these situations are really effective in films and can draw an audience in, make them feel tense, and that's really how we wanted to make our audience feel with our film. We took a few things out of these films that we used in our own, but we didn't use a lot. We used mainly our own ideas to try and get our points across in the film. Two ideas that we had taken from the film Firewall was we had used the sense of being followed or watched. We wanted our character to feel like he was being followed. And we wanted the audience to know that he was being followed, and we wanted to have that sense in the atmosphere. And we also used the idea that he is quite successful, because we have our character dressed in a suit to show that he is a businessman, and in Firewall he seems very successful. He has a boat, has a very fancy car. With our other two films, we didn't find we took much from the films, and we didn't take many conventions or anything. The only thing we used was a train, because it's a mode of transport that a lot of people commonly use. So we wanted our character to seem less detached from our audience. We wanted him to seem like he's an ordinary character. He's an ordinary person. This can happen to any person. It's just how it makes the audience feel tense, can scare them. So this film is kind of like a thriller as well. In the film Firewall, they're effective with their shots. They don't show the audience who's following our character, and in our one we don't follow this rule, but we do we show who's following our character, but we have him in the background, so it seems like he's just there. It's not meant. Your focus is not drawn to him. Your focus is drawn to the character who is standing there in the middle, our main character. So we wanted the other character to seem hidden from the audience, but still in the frame. An obvious convention which we found we've taken from these films is that someone's captured, because if someone's captured in a hostage film, you're doing it right. If someone's not captured, then you're doing something wrong, because in a hostage film someone has to be captured, and there has to be someone who's captured them, and we've shown who's captured our character. And it's just, if there wasn't any of these characters, if that convention wasn't there, it wouldn't make sense, and our audience would just walk out. They wouldn't watch the film. And then this is like, we have to show this in our film, otherwise it wouldn't work. The next question is, how does your film represent particular social groups? First of all, our character is a businessman, and he works in a bank, an office. So we've shown this in our film by you making our character be represented as very successful by wearing his suit, carrying a bag, a briefcase, it's a laptop bag, around with him, and we've represented this, and we've represented that businessmen are something in our film. It's a social group in our film, and this is obviously something that would draw our audience in as well. We would have more like businessmen might want to see like how they've been portrayed in a film, and that if this businessman can have something like that happen to him, maybe it could happen to them. Maybe you see how it goes out. And this is obviously a social group we represented. When we were filming, we felt that we wanted some people to be around, otherwise it just doesn't seem realistic. It seems like, so this businessman standing on his own at a train station, gets a train, he's on his own, it's only him and this other guy. There surely would be people around, and we show in our film that there are people around the station. They're obviously not people we know, they're just people who are there. They're common people, middle-class people who are getting a train to go to their destinations, and it's just like, we wanted this in our film because it just makes it seem more realistic, makes it seem like it's all part of a normal world, and that this is just something that can happen to people. and you've just got to be more aware. The next question is, what kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? We know that our film is low budget. It would be a low budget film, and it's a British independent film. We know this because of the locations. 2 train stations, a train, and where he's kept hostage are all we see in the opening. If we were to be making the whole film, we would need a big building to be used as a bank, and then outside of it, a studio wouldn't really need a lot of money to be able to use the bank. So it would be very low budget. There are no stars in the film, so we know that to go with the budget, they wouldn't need to put a lot of money aside to hire the actors. There would only be small actors who would be in the film. So with the films that we looked at, there was Firewall had Harrison Ford, who was a very big actor. Taken with Liam Neeson, who again is a huge actor. And then with Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, there's Denzel Washington and John Travolta. They're all big actors, they're stars, they drive the film. Because this is an independent film, a British film, we wouldn't be able to get any big distributors like 20th Century Fox, for example. They distribute big films that are usually star-based, high budgets, and they're usually destined to make a lot of money, are made to make money. So Taken starred Liam Neeson, would have had a high budget because you have to hire the actor. And 20th Century Fox distributed this film because they knew it would make a lot of money. It did. I think that a film like this, it could be able to get a distributor like Warner Brothers on board, because Warner Brothers because they've got ties to Britain, where they've distributed the Harry Potter series in this country, not just in this country, around the world. And so because they've got ties to the country, then you think that an independent British film could get Warner Brothers to distribute it. It would get the film more out there. It would look better. It would get a better reputation. The type of company that we'd be able to get to distribute our film would be something like Momentum Pictures or the Weinstein Company, both of which distributed The King's Speech, which was an independent British film. It went on to make a lot of money from a low budget. And these are the type of studios that distribute the lower budgeted films. Weinstein Company has distributed a lot of low budget films in the past. Next question is, who would be the audience for your film? I believe our audience would be, well, we could say businessmen would come and watch our film, because it's a social group that's in the film, and they probably want to see how they've been represented in the film, and what happens, obviously, to their type of characters, because it could happen to them if it happens to the character, like I've said earlier. We have later on in the film, we want to use the police, because we don't want to have it too, it's not going to be action, it's going to be more communication driven. But yeah, we're going to have we want the police in it, so maybe police want to come and watch the film to see how they're used in it, how they're portrayed. And but our main audience, we were going for young adults, so from the ages of 18 and up. But we did think older people would watch it, in the sense, not, I say older, I mean late 20s would watch it, because it's sophisticated. It's not loads of action, loads of bombs going off, and there's not going to be any great effects in the film. So, and that's really what the audiences go for now. Being the typical audiences the films are aimed at are 15 to 25, then they mainly watch films that have a lot of effects, high budget, stars. So, for example, Transformers, The Avengers, these are films that have got a lot of effects in them. And that's really what the audiences are going for these days. Because our film doesn't really have any of that, is it really going to attract a massive audience? Well, we think that the kind of people that would watch it, like we said, would be late 20s, early 30s. And these are people that will watch films for, maybe the sophistication. But some people do, adults do like watching the films for the special effects and the action in it. But it's different. They're different genre types as well. So there's always people who like these kind of these calm films. I think sometimes there's too many action films released at the cinemas these days. So something sophisticated like this would be a bit of a change, and something I would want to go and see, and I would advise a lot of audiences to see, because you're not seeing much difference in the cinemas anymore. It's just too much action. So that's why we've steered away from this and decided to aim for a different type of audience from what is usually aimed at these days. The next question, which I have kind of touched upon in the previous question, was how did you attract/address your audience? I'll say by using the social groups in our film, then that would attract audiences as well. So that's why we might get businessmen coming to see our film, and that's how we wanted to bring them in, by using their social groups in our film. Also, because we've gone for the difference, the no action, the no effects, no stars, we've gone from the difference that we usually see in the cinemas. That would attract our audiences in, attract different audiences in, and that's what we wanted, and that's how we were going to do it. And that is really how we attracted or addressed our audience. I have really covered it all in the previous question as well. The next question is, what have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this project? I feel that I have gotten myself a lot better knowledge of the editing side of things. I used to find that I wasn't good at editing the films together, and I never used to really enjoy it, to be honest. But this time I really enjoyed putting this film together, because I enjoyed making the film. And using the editing software, I didn't go for anything too complicated. I stuck with using Windows Movie Maker. And putting the film in, choosing the effects, the transitions and stuff, I found it very enjoyable, and I liked looking at the different types you can use. It's just a lot of stuff you can do on computers. I found that when I was making the film, I enjoyed working with the cameras as well. Obviously, I wasn't behind the cameras for any of the scenes. I was in the screens, really. I was always in the frame. But when we were experimenting where we wanted the camera, what shots we're going to use, I just loved it. Using all loads of different shots, we took a different variety of the clips we were going to use, and we just when we put it together, we chose which one is better out of like 2 different angles we'd used, and that was really fun, choosing all the different angles and filming them to see which one looks which look better and which look more effective for when our films is going to be put together. I also learnt by using the different cameras, because these were newer cameras that we were using. They were HD cameras as opposed to what we were using previously. They weren't very clear, and I thought they picked up sound terribly. But this one, it picked up the sound right. It didn't sound terrible at all. And the screen was a lot clearer watching the film. When we were getting them back and watching them, they were so clear. And it just shows what a different camera can do. And our film looks so much better this way. And the final question, looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the main task? After the preliminary, I thought I really need to focus on thinking about my ideas now, not just making the first thing that comes to my mind. And we did brainstorm an original idea which we thought would be well, and then when we got would do well. When we got our feedback, it didn't sound good, and I thought we have to completely change it, so we did. And this was just something I thought I definitely needed to improve on from the preliminary as well, because our idea was bad as well then, and it just helped a lot. I felt that in the preliminary we didn't use a variety of shots. We could have used a lot more better shots for what we did, but we didn't. It was very bad. We didn't think at all. They were very basic shots. But with this, we got the camera, we got the tripod, and we went out to a different location. And when we did the shots, we just thought about them. We didn't just think, oh, let's just film. We thought about all the different shots we could use. High angles. We used there's a high angle shot from the bridge, which I think was one of the best shots we used in the film, and I love that shot. We used a shot that was across from the station, but it didn't look very clear, so we cut that. There was a shot we did that was another high angle shot from inside the train. It was a very good shot, but it wasn't very important for the film, and it went a lot over the at the time. So we thought we'll just cut that as well. But these, I mean, we have a lot of different shots. With our other ones, they were very basic, like medium shots. But with this, there's loads. There's over the shoulder. There's point of view. I think, or did we? No, I think we cut the point of view one. But yeah, there's a lot of different shots, and I know that my camera knowledge improved a lot more. My shot knowledge, and then we used a lot of variety, and that's something we didn't do for our preliminary. And I know that's something we definitely improved on for this film. I feel that this time, we did think about the film a lot more as well when we thought about making it. And we thought about the different locations, and I just instantly thought train. I don't know what came to me, but I just thought I want my character to be getting a train. So we did this. We went to the train station, we filmed there, we got the train, we filmed on the train, we got off at the other train station, and we've done it. But then that just makes me feel we've got a lot better choice of locations than we actually think. Because last, for the preliminary, we chose the teacher parent like little conference room, and it's all right for what we were doing, but what we were doing was quite bad. So choosing a better location can also give you better ideas and also more shot variety choices. So this is why we got a lot more range of shots. And I really thought when I was writing the script and thinking about the shots, I was thinking about the location, and I thought at the train station there's a bridge. I want a high angle from the bridge, so I put that in. It's just locations just really does help to get your film's point across as well. I don't like filming in the school either, because I think there's nothing to do. There's nowhere we can go. It is a school. There is no doubt about that this is a school. Unless your film takes place in a school, it's all right. But otherwise, you're just filming in a school just because because you can't be bothered. And I really wanted to make this a really effective film, so I chose a location and I wanted to go and film there. Thank you for watching my Media Studies Electronic Evaluation.